Well, do you support the government's ban on this XL bully dog? Will it make any difference? Nick Freeman is the lawyer known as Mr. Loophole. He joins us now. Hello, Nick.
Good afternoon, Jonathan.
Good afternoon. Of course, you are a lover of dogs as well. So very interested to hear your view on this. Do you support the government's ban on this particular breed?
Regretfully, yes, I do. Regrettably, I do. I've always taken the view that the problem's at the other end of the lead, but like your expert said, this is the one breed that I think has to be banned for public safety and for other animal safety. I think it's important to bear in mind this is a relatively new breed. It came about in the 1980s, and what I find slightly bizarre is we've got dog legislation in place, the Dangerous Dogs Act 1991, which specifies 4 types of dog, but it also then goes on to ban the crossbreeds of any of those 4 types of dogs. And a bully, and I would ban all bullies, not just extra large bullies. I would ban all bullies because in essence they are pit bulls, and what they are is a cross between a pure pit bull terrier, if there is such a thing, and an American Staffy, which is often described as a pit bull, and there are other dogs thrown in the mix. And it's bred for its muscularity and for aggression, and it's a new breed. So this isn't a breed that's had hundreds of years to get out of it and make it domestic and make it kind. This is bred very recently to be a killing machine, and I think that's why your last expert, unfortunately, I didn't hear, and the 3 other experts who you've alluded to who were tragically killed. This is a dog you just cannot control because the breeding intent is so strong, the prey drive is so strong in the dog. That's not to say that every single bully is dangerous, but you can't control them when they turn. And the statistics speak for themselves. There are so many fatalities with other dogs, with people, tragically and bizarrely. We're walking around the streets and we're talking about the number of people killed by dogs in our streets in this day and age. It's the most ridiculous, tragic conversation ever to have. It's like having a wild animal walking around the street and the government is saying, yes, it's fine. I don't understand. As I said to you, the legislation is there. The legislation, in my view, already bans this breed, and I don't know why the dog legislation enforcers and the police are not already seizing these animals and holding them to account in the way that the Dangerous Dogs Act envisages. I just don't understand it.
We're told that the existing American XL bully dogs, will not have to be culled. Is that a mistake?
I think they have to deal with each one on an individual basis. I mean, the problem with all these type of dogs, to a large extent, is how they're looked after and who owns them. And for me, the Dangerous Dogs Act, it needs updating. It needs a complete review. But when I think very recently and tragically, a gentleman in his 50s, 52-year-old Ian Price, was killed because 2 dogs escaped from their first floor apartment and went into his mother's front garden. She was in her 80s and he went to rescue her. So first of all, the dogs are kept in completely inappropriate conditions, and that you've got that packing instinct. And when you get any dogs together in pack, they are potentially dangerous. But when you get these type of dogs in a pack, they're just completely lethal. So I would say every dog has to be looked at on its own merits. All dogs would be, I imagine, chemically castrated. They would have to be muzzled. But the big problem for me is it's all very well doing all these things, but if the dogs are going to, one of the provisions under the Dangerous Dogs Act is you have to keep the dogs secure. Well, a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, one of these animals killed 22 pregnant sheep because it escaped. So people who have these dogs are clearly not being responsible in ensuring that they're kept under lock and key. And you don't want to keep a dog under lock and key. It's a potential time bomb. That's not what animals are for, not for domestic animals.
Well, quite. I mean, quite why anyone would want to take the responsibility of one of these animals on in the first place is beyond me. But there we go. Nick, thank you so much for your time. Nick Freeman is the lawyer known as Mr. Loophole.